What are you trying to fight him in? He's trying to pull me.
Hi, it's Isabel975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox, and today I've got a clip which features two things that are very rude, but not cheating. Very, very rude, but not cheating. Well, kind of not cheating. Technically, you know, people can argue this one, but I'll show you the clip and let you decide. I'm not putting this in my cheats playlist, but I was attacking this gentleman at the CG. We tried to attack him before, but unfortunately I had major difficulty because I couldn't see him in that instance, which was kind of somewhat holding me back. But also, later he also menu logged, which is...
Oh my gosh.
I could just carry on playing this for a while. No, all right, anyway.
We actually shut the stream down, but we're going to keep playing here, so...
Look, I'm not allowed to because it's technically combat logging, so what I'll do is I'll leave this running and then see if my multi-crew can...
Yeah, so this gentleman does menu log during this fight, which is very, very rude. It's something I don't like to see. We had a conversation, which was via Google Translate, so some of the nuances lost to that thing. I offered him a 1v1 because he complained that we 3v1'd him and said that was rude, and I said that at least it wasn't cheating. Then I offered him a 1v1, he said no. Or at least that's what I think from Google Translate. It's hard to tell. Now, when it comes to menu logging, I would always say this.
Stop it. Get some help.
However, he wasn't responsible for the fun and shenanigans of the first fight, so our instinct in fight was fighting him, and I could see where Al's missiles were going, but I couldn't see the guy. I didn't see him in Super Cruise, I didn't see him when I low weight. I jumped back up, manually low weight. It was as if the guy had me blocked, but he doesn't, so that was really weird. He might have been blocked now actually after I called him a cheat, but yeah, he didn't have me blocked at the point that he was invisible. But this sometimes happens. It's a really weird de-instancing thing when some people in your wing are in a fight and you can't see the person they're fighting with. I've had it happen to me before. Just Pete and his cutter was invisible to me, even though there was like 5 other Dark Marauders in there shooting at him, and I could see where the stuff was hitting a target, but I couldn't see it. I could fly right through it. It's hilarious. But yeah, this happens sometimes. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, as to the menu log, menu logging is one of those things. FDev will never ban someone for menu logging out of a situation. They put the timer in place. Technically, if you exit via the timer, you're not combat logging, you are menu logging. FDev don't consider that an exploit, they consider that you exit in the game via the menu, though they have said that the community see it as combat logging and they consider it to be technically combat logging. It is a bit weak, but they don't actually consider it cheating. There's many people that will argue this all day long. It's very rude, it's something you shouldn't do, it's not considered a polite way to play. If you're in this situation, high wake out. However, he might be new enough that he was panicking because he got hit by grom bombs and may not have known what to do or why his FSD was shutting off. Also, there was a big language barrier to talking to this guy, so I'm not going to particularly hold it against him. He was getting ganked 3v1, being hit by grom bombs, and he elected to menu log. Now, he didn't combat log, and there is for me a distinct difference. He did exit via the menu correctly. Though it's rude to do that while you're in combat. It's kind of, yeah, it's one of those. I'm not going to hold it against him. I'm not going to put it in my cheats playlist. I would hope he doesn't continue to do this sort of thing, but at least he didn't combat log. Now, why is there? Do I distinguish these things, and why do I think there's a distinct difference? Well, one is exiting the game via the menu, and one is terminating or crashing out of the game to avoid dying. Now, when you menu log, you do have to wait the 15-second timer, and you can tell it's a menu log. I've slowed it down because people ask me, sometimes I get people who claim that they menu log when they combat log, and they're always like, well, you can't know for sure, and trust me, when you watch at very super slow speeds, you can absolutely and utterly tell when it's a menu log, when it's a combat log, what's happening. So when you menu log, you have the screen in front of you with the timer, and you can still move your ship. And as you can see, you're taking damage right up until the point that counter gets to 0. You will take damage. So you have to sit there and watch that timer as you're getting hit from all sides and taking damage. Now I do think it's the Grom Bomb that made him panic, because he is low enough rank that he might not have encountered that and known what that was all about. But, you know, this is a definite menu log, because he takes damage right up until the point he vanishes. If you combat log, your ship just floats off in to the distance and becomes completely invulnerable. Doesn't take damage, and it also flies off in a random direction where you left it, whichever point where you were aiming when you task killed or quit out the game. That's why there's a distinct difference, though this is still very much, well,
He's gone.
yeah, I still employ Kevin Spacey for these ones as well. But I will say to this guy, I'll happily 1v1 him anytime he wants, big ship, medium ship, I don't mind. I understand he doesn't like being ganked 3v1, but please don't menu log on people, just wake out. It will prove easier for you in the long run. Anyway, that's all. Thank you very much for watching.